Hey everyone, and welcome. So, in the world of virtualization, it's pretty standard to cram dozens, sometimes hundreds, of virtual machines onto just one physical server. I mean, it's super efficient, but it also kind of puts all our eggs in one basket. Today, we're going to dig into how to protect that server from what is often its biggest weakness, the network connection.
So let's just think about that for a second. If you've got your entire virtual setup humming along on one piece of hardware, what's the single weakest link in that whole chain? Well, more often than not, it's that one lonely network cable plugged into the back. Let's talk about exactly why that's such a huge problem.
I want you to picture your server as this huge, bustling city. You've got all the data from all those virtual machines trying to get in and out, but they all have to use a single-laned country road. You can see the problem, right? One little issue on that road, a flat tire, a fallen tree, and the entire city just grinds to a complete halt. That is the exact risk you're running with a single network connection.
And relying on that one connection leads to two pretty major disasters. First up, system-wide disruption. If that one network card or that one cable goes down, every single VM on that host is knocked offline instantly. And second, even when it is working, you're creating these massive traffic bottlenecks. All of your VMs are fighting for bandwidth on that one tiny connection, and it can slow everything down to a crawl.
Okay, so obviously we can't just accept that kind of risk. The solution is to turn that fragile country road into a multi-lane superhighway. And in the VMware world, we do this with a really powerful feature called NIC teaming.
So what is NIC teaming? It's actually pretty simple. It's just the act of bundling two or more physical network cards together and then telling your virtual switch, hey, treat all of these as one single super reliable high-capacity connection. It's basically effective teamwork, but for your hardware. And the process itself? Surprisingly straightforward. You just take your physical network cards, you link them up to your virtual switch, which is kind of like the traffic cop for all your VMs, and then you pick something called a teaming policy. And that policy is really just the rule book for how this new team is going to work together. So what does all this teamwork actually get you? Well, NIC teaming really boils down to two main functions. You can think of it as giving you both a safety net and a speed boost for your network. And understanding the difference between these two is absolutely key. So on one side, you have failover. That is your safety net. It is all about redundancy and making sure disaster doesn't strike. And on the other side, you've got load balancing. That's your speed boost. This is all about cranking up performance and throughput. Now, you can often have both at the same time, but they are two very different jobs. Let's just focus on that safety net for a minute. With failover, if someone, say, accidentally unplugs a cable or a network card just decides to die, the system doesn't even flinch. It just automatically and instantly reroutes all the traffic through the other healthy connections in the team. Your virtual machines stay online, you avoid a catastrophic outage. It's all about resilience. Now for the speed boost, load balancing. What this does is it takes all that network traffic and intelligently spreads it out across all the available lanes, all the NICs in your team. This means you're not stuck with the speed of just one connection. You're using the combined power of all of them. Your server can push way more data, and you get to avoid those frustrating performance bottlenecks we talked about earlier. All right, so we know we want the safety net. We know we want the speed boost. But how do we actually make it happen? This is where those teaming policies come back into play. Choosing the right policy is like picking the right game plan for your team, and a lot of it depends on the kind of network gear you're working with. This table gives us a really nice high-level look. On one end of the spectrum, you've got switch-independent teaming. This is the easiest one. It works with pretty much any physical switch, no special setup needed. It gives you fantastic failover protection. But for more power, you can use something like LACP. Now, this does require you to configure your physical switch, but the payoff is that your server and switch actively talk to each other to create this really smart dynamic load balancing system that can seriously boost your throughput. It's a classic trade-off. Do you want plug-and-play simplicity or maximum performance? So let's just pull this all together. Why have we just spent all this time talking about grouping network cards? Well, because in a virtualized world, the reliability of your entire system really hinges on these simple physical connections. This right here is the core transformation. By setting up NIC teaming, you take a fragile system that's prone to failure and bottlenecks, and you turn it into a resilient, high-capacity network that can handle failures and heavy traffic without even breaking a sweat. It's a fundamental, foundational step for any serious virtual environment. So, I'll leave you with this question to think about. A server crashing is dramatic, but a simple network failure can be just as devastating. Take a hard look at your own setup and ask yourself, is my network truly ready for the unexpected? Thanks for tuning in.